Okay, so kind of as an update to the tiny swarm, I read the notes on all my tall hives to see which ones had this year's queens, or actually last year's queens that were still here this year, and so those are the ones that are more likely to swarm. An older queen that's been there at least 1 year, and even more likely the second year. So my notes fade through winter, so I don't know how old this queen in here is, but she's a last year queen at least. And this, you can see, it's a tall, very productive hive, lots of bees. So if I was going to guess, if a swarm came from anywhere, it would be this one. This hive produced the most honey also. It had a full super, and the other one is full as well, 95% full, but it's not capped yet. So I left that on here. So I usually don't go down in here and check these out when they're working on honey. Because first of all, it's heavy and it's hot, and the swarming is usually earlier on. So later on in when the nectar flow subsides, I don't mess with them. It's a lot of work, especially when you got a lot of hives. I have 20 some hives, but that's plenty for me anyway. So I'm going to bust this thing apart, get the honey supers off. I got a stand back here. I'm going to get these off. I'm going to take this deep box here, and I'm going to lift it up and look at the bottom. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to go through there. I'm not going to look for the queen. I'm going to look at the bottom of this brood box and see if there's queen cells hanging down. So in this hive, in my notes, I have pulled one split off of it this year, so it wasn't totally, I have messed with it throughout the year. I try not to do that with ones that are making honey, but you never know sometimes which ones are going to be your good producers and which ones aren't. Actually, I'm going to leave this on. There's no need for me to take the lid off. So I'm going to pop this top honey super, which is empty, and just set it behind me. This one is 95% full and uncapped. Pull one real quick, take a look at it. So that's getting pretty well capped now. So this one looks about the same. That one's a little less capped. So we'll pull these off in the fall. Hopefully the fall honey, we only have a lot of bitterweed in it. I had 1 year it was full of bitterweed and it was awful. It was a real dry year. Okay. Okay, I've repositioned the camera around to the back side, and I turned the exposure up so you'll be able to see in the shadow in here what I'm looking for. I could pull these frames out one at a time, but if there are swarm cells in there, you can damage them sometime if they are extended and touching the bottom. So this box is going to be really heavy. Yep, it is. Okay. Broke loose. So here's how you do it. You scoot it back a little and you tilt it. and I'm looking along here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I don't see any. So where you would see them is, like right here are some that are maybe starting to form, and trying to see in there, it's empty. So these are empty little swarm cups that are forming, but they didn't ever do anything with it. I do see some more. If I can set this down and zoom in. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. That is a cup, and there's nothing in that cup. If I saw a little larva in there, I'd know, well, they're making a queen. So there's another one right in there. So when your hive is swarmed, you'll see these cups. They'll be extended down, and it'll look like a peanut, and that'll be a full larva. It's a capped queen. So that's how we do it. Basically bust that sucker open, tilt it like that. You don't disturb the bees a lot. You do your business and get out of there. So got the honey superset over there, so I'm going to button this sucker back up. So the swarm didn't come from there. So when your bees are all clustered along where you're going to set your box down, I'm going to give them some smoke to get them off of there. Don't want to smash your bees, people. Also, when you do that, that's really heavy, so you don't want to press that up against your body, because there'll be a bee there and you'll get stung. I know that from experience. Okay. This top one's empty, by the way. That was all extracted. Okay, so I'm going to make my note. I didn't see any swarm cells, and we'll be done with this hive basically till fall. We'll keep our eye on the honey like every week or so. That's it. If you have any questions, put them below, and subscribe to our channel. I'm up to like 29 viewers now, or subscribers, so try to get that up. Thanks.